Our country's love for SUVs is a known fact. Be it a subcompact or a compact or a mid-sized or even with 3 rows, SUVs have been the flavor of the town for the longest period. This has resulted in the creation of a new segment altogether, with cars that look like SUVs, behave like SUVs, but don't exactly qualify as SUVs, and we would rather categorize them as small cars on stilts. But the craze of owning one of these mini SUVs, as they are called, is quickly catching on.
The Tata Punch has been ruling the roost ever since it was launched almost a year ago. It is a well-rounded product and a very sensible purchase for anyone who's looking for a family car under the 10 lakh rupee bracket. But crashing its party is the newest member from France. Meet the Citroën C3. It is a hatchback, as the company calls it, but it has SUV flair added to it to jazz things up. Now we've got both the cars today with us to tell you which one is the best value for money car. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you are always notified with Car and Bikes work.
Despite the small proportions, both the C3 and the Punch are high on numbers. The C3 is 154mm longer than the Punch, but 9mm narrower and 11mm shorter while riding on a significantly longer wheelbase. But the Punch shows its strength with better ground clearance, boot space and a larger fuel tank. The Punch also sits on alloy wheels that are standard fitment compared to the steel wheels on the C3.
Looks are subjective, but when we talk about the styling, both these cars look youthful and extremely vibrant in this exterior color. The Punch resembles a lot like its elder siblings, while the C3 also looks a lot like the C5. Well, what are the changes, what are the differences that you get in these designs? Let's take a look.
Both cars look youthful, vibrant and have a lot of charisma. Split headlamps and DRLs in front with the halogen LED light combination is a common ingredient here. While the Punch looks athletic and stylish with an attractive SUV-like tall stance, the C3 champions a sporty character as the signature chevron pattern takes precedence at the front. But what attracts us even more are the clever designs to conceal a few cost-saving bits. The Punch, however, has more SUV pedigree in its design and the styling speaks that tone. Citroën instead plays around with the design at the rear to give it a notion that the car is in fact an SUV. We love that the rear door handles on the Punch nicely blend into the black plastic element, while the clamshell door handles on the C3 feel a bit outdated. Tata offers a total of 12 exterior paint schemes, 5 monotone and several dual tones compared to the 4 monotone and 6 dual tone options on the C3. The Punch scores high on the quality of the shut lines, paint job and even appears lustrous with a very stylish design that has found so many takers. But the C3 appeals to a large chunk of the audience with its strikingly attractive looks. Both the C3 and the Punch have a well-designed cabin with excellent fit and finish, and this despite being on a budget. Both cars come with a slew of customization options, but the C3 has a superior cabin. The 10-inch touchscreen is truly a class apart with its seamless user experience. The Android Auto and Apple CarPlay can be paired without a cable. The fully digital instrument cluster imparts information clearly, but what surprises us is the absence of a rev counter, an important miss. Tata needs to update its minuscule display as it is the same unit that does duty on its elder siblings. What irks us the most is the cluttered graphic interface, an issue that is consistent with all its models. But we like the Punch's part digital setup with the MID at the center offering loads of information. Few other features such as automatic climate control, ORVM adjusters, puddle lamps and collaring lamps are all part of the higher spec trims on the Punch that are completely left out in the C3.
When speaking of small cars of this proportion, it is extremely crucial to consider the kind of room, the kind of space that the rear seat passengers would get. Now, both these cars are generous when it comes to leg space, knee room and headroom. But the C3 has a better leg room because of the extended wheelbase. Now the Punch obviously has more headroom compared to the C3, but it also has a better seat squab. So on a longer journey, the C3 feels slightly restrained, although that suspension really helps over longer journeys. The Punch on the other side is also extremely comfortable and relaxed over shorter or longer journeys. Now talking about the features, well, both the cars don't get rear AC vents, so you have to adjust with whatever is offered at the front. But the good part about both these cars is that ingress and egress is extremely comfortable, especially in the Punch, because this opens up to 90 degrees.
Things are extremely tight till now. But how does it unfold when the cars get going? Both the C3 and the Punch are offered solely in petrol versions, with Citroën offering a naturally aspirated and a turbocharged unit, while Tata only brings an NA unit to the picture. And so, our test vehicles are models in their manual avatars.
For a 3-cylinder setup, the Revertron is in fact quite peppy for most part. Well, at higher speeds you do hear that clatter, and I feel that Tata could have done a better job in damping that sound so that it doesn't come inside the cabin. Well, that's only when you rev it hard though. But apart from that, the engine refinement is quite commendable. It's actually really good.
Things are similar with the C3. This version is perfect for anyone wanting a supple and comfortable ride, without the need to put the pedal down at every given opportunity. Nevertheless, in terms of keeping up in city driving conditions, both cars manage to do it equally well.
Now the mileage figures given by Citroën for the C3 is slightly more superior than what Tata has achieved with the Punch, and mind you that the Punch does get the idle start-stop functionality, which also helps in gaining a few extra mileage. So the C3 in both its naturally aspirated and turbocharged avatars has around 20 kmpl, between 19.8 kmpl to 20 kmpl, and compared with that the Punch delivers below 19 kmpl. So realistically speaking, even with these figures, both cars are quite fuel efficient, and both the companies have done a commendable job in achieving that.
We were also impressed by the ride and handling on both these cars. The C3 handles nicely, and you'll be surprised by its comfort levels on terrible roads. Kind of reminds us of the C5.
Now Citroën has worked really smart in tuning the C3, and especially with its suspension. It's no C5, but Citroën has done a really good job in tuning this car for comfort. I can glide over potholes, bad patches, rough terrains quite easily, and even the gear shifts are quite slick. They're quite smooth, and yes, they are also refined. Right off the mark, the Tata Punch is slow. It's not the most responsive off the mark, but that gearbox, it's miles ahead from what Tata used to offer with its older generation of the cars. It's possibly one of the best manual gearbox that the company has offered, and the gear shifts are so smooth. The shifts are seamless. No more do you feel that hard feeling while downshifting or even upshifting during your drive. It syncs really well, and whatever flaws the engine has, this gearbox compensates for it.
Both cars are also appropriately suited with all the basic safety criteria. Twin airbags, ABS with EBD, child seat anchor points, seatbelt warning, and parking sensors are common between the two. What's missing on the C3 though is a rear-view camera, cornering lamps, rain detecting wipers, and connected car tech, all present on the higher trims of the Punch. The absence of a rear defogger and even a wiper may pose a safety concern, especially during winter. Let's not forget that the Punch is also one of the safest cars built in India, with a 5-star global NCAP safety rating. The C3 is without doubt the most affordable vehicle in this segment. It undercuts the Punch at both the lower and higher end of the price spectrum, but has only a few variants to offer. With the Punch, Tata spoils its customers with a multitude of special editions to choose from. However, all these come at a premium over the standard versions.
Well, let's come to the bottom line. Both these cars come with their own set of pros and cons. The Tata Punch is a well-packaged product. It's robust after-sales service, a 5-star crash test rating, and the tons of variants to choose from makes the Tata Punch a very compelling, a well-rounded and well-packaged product. With the C3, Citroën has played it safe yet aggressive. It has trimmed down on some of its features to lower that asking price, and we've seen how that works in its favor. However, its only Achilles heel is its limited reach. Nonetheless, it's an absolute cat amongst the pigeons. But in an overall picture, the Tata Punch punches it out of the park quite comfortably